Bitachon, trusting HaShem when the floor moves. There is a special kind of panic that hits when life stops pretending you're in control. Not the cinematic version, where someone runs through the rain, yelling profound things at the sky. I mean the quiet, middle aged, kitchen counter kind, the staring at the bills panic, the why is my chest tight and why did I just open the fridge 3 times kind. We call it stress. Judaism, with its usual annoying accuracy, calls it something deeper, a lack of bitachon. Bitachon means trust, not optimism, not denial, not walking into traffic because Hashem will provide. That is not faith. That is a lawsuit with Hebrew subtitles. Bitachon is the quiet, stubborn belief that Hashem is running the world, even when the world looks like it was assembled by IKEA without instructions. And let's be honest, that is not easy. Human beings love control. We make lists, we create spreadsheets, we track packages like federal agents. We check bank accounts, weather apps, cholesterol numbers, election polls, and whether the brisket is resting properly, which is apparently something meat does better than most Jews. We want certainty. Hashem gives us trust instead, which feels, let's be honest, a little unfair. What bitachon isn't? Bitachon is not passive. It does not mean sitting on the couch waiting for miracles while eating rugelach and calling it spiritual discipline. Judaism never asks us to abandon effort. We work, we plan, we protect ourselves. We speak up, we build, we fight when necessary. We go to the doctor, we lock the door, we teach our children, we defend our people. But after we do what is ours to do, we admit what was never ours to control. That is the hard part, because anxiety whispers, everything depends on you. Bitachon answers, no, everything depends on Hashem. My job is obedience, effort, courage, and honesty. The outcome belongs to Him. That one sentence can save a person's sanity. Our ancestors knew. Our ancestors understood this better than we do. They had no illusion of control. They crossed seas, wandered deserts, faced empires, survived exile, pogroms, inquisitions, gas chambers, rockets, tunnels, and mobs chanting for their destruction while pretending it was social justice with better fonts. And still, they said Shema. Still, they lit candles. Still, they taught children Torah. Still, they married, laughed, argued, cooked too much food, and told each other it will be okay, even when nobody had any earthly evidence that it would be. That is bitachon. Not because Jews are naive, please. We are the least naive people on earth. We read the fine print on trauma. We have footnotes for our footnotes. We do not trust easily because history keeps showing up with receipts. But we trust Hashem. There is a difference. Trusting people blindly is foolish. Trusting mobs is suicidal. Trusting institutions without accountability is how you end up shocked that elite universities can lecture on moral philosophy while failing Do Not Harass Jews 101. But trusting Hashem, that is not blindness. That is vision beyond the immediate. Bitachon says, I do not understand the road, but I know there is a driver. It says, I may be afraid, but fear is not my rabbi. It says, the headlines are loud, but Hashem is louder, even when he speaks in silence. Yet here we are, thousands of years later, still saying the same Shema in a world that feels louder and more chaotic than ever. Hidden but not absent. Maybe that is why bitachon is so difficult today. We live in a world addicted to noise. Every crisis arrives with push notifications. Every tragedy gets a panel discussion. Every fool with Wi-Fi becomes a prophet. Everyone is certain. Everyone is outraged. Everyone is selling certainty by the month. Judaism offers something better. Humility. You are not God. Baruch Hashem. Imagine the pressure if you were. Most of us cannot keep a houseplant alive without turning it into a botanical hostage situation. And we think we should be running the universe? Bitachon is the spiritual relief of resigning from a job you were never qualified for. It does not remove pain. It does not make grief cute. It does not turn suffering into a greeting card. It gives pain a place to stand. It reminds us that Hashem is present even when he is hidden, especially when he is hidden. The Hebrew phrase Hester Panim means the hiding of God's face. Jewish history knows that darkness well, but hidden is not absent. A parent hiding behind a door while a child learns to walk has not abandoned the child. The parent is watching. The child still has to take the step. That is where we live, somewhere between effort and surrender, between action and trust, between I must do everything I can and I am not the master of outcomes. And there is dignity in that. There is peace in that. There is courage in that. Bitachon in action. Bitachon does not mean believing everything will happen the way we want. It means believing that whatever happens, we are held by Hashem, obligated by Torah, strengthened by memory, and not alone. That is why a Jew can stand in chaos and still say, Gamzu Latova, this too is for the good. Not because it feels good right now, because Hashem is good, and he has never once broken a promise to us. The world says trust yourself. Judaism says improve yourself, discipline yourself, humble yourself, and trust Hashem. The world says manifest your destiny. Judaism says do the mitzvah in front of you. The world says control the narrative. Judaism says tell the truth and let Hashem handle history. And history, somehow, keeps proving him right. We are still here. After every empire that tried to erase us became a museum exhibit, we are still here. After every ideology that promised to replace God collapsed under the weight of its own arrogance, we are still here. After every anti Semite, tyrant, censor, coward, and self appointed moral genius decided the Jews were finished, we are still here. Not because we were stronger than everyone, because Hashem does not break his promises. Bitachon is not pretending the storm is not real. It is knowing who commands the sea. So yes, make the plan, send the email, pay the bill, call the doctor, defend Israel, speak against anti-Semitism, teach your children who they are, put one foot in front of the other, but do not worship your own effort. Do not mistake anxiety for responsibility. Do not confuse control with faith. At the end of the day, after the noise, after the fear, after the spreadsheets and midnight thoughts, a Jew returns to the same ancient truth. Hashem runs the world. We do our part, he carries the rest. And somehow, that has carried us for thousands of years, still standing, still praying, still trusting. Am Yisrael Chai. If you enjoy my writing, support me by buying my book, Screaming into the Void, available on paperback or Kindle on Amazon.com.